Welcome to Chinese Book Summary Project. We are committed to introduce latest academic works published in Chinese. Let's continue to read Huang Qifan's Reorganization and Breakthrough, published in 2024. This is a summary of Chapter 1, 8 Major Investment, How Local Investment and Finance Platform. Chongqing, a sprawling directly administered municipality in China, presents a unique set of challenges in its quest for industrialization and urbanization. Covering an expansive area of 82,400 square kilometers and housing a population exceeding 33 million, Chongqing is subdivided into 38 districts and counties. Its geography is predominantly mountainous and water-rich, with 90% of its landscape characterized by rugged terrains and extensive waterways. The remaining land is fragmented into small, plateau-like areas colloquially known as chicken coop lands, jiwodi. This intricate topography significantly complicates infrastructure development, making urban expansion and industrial growth more arduous compared to other major Chinese cities such as Beijing, Tianjin, or Shanghai. In the early 2000s, Chongqing's local government faced severe financial constraints. Fiscal revenues were barely exceeding 10 billion yuan, while local government debt had soared to over 40 billion yuan. Traditional financing avenues, such as municipal bonds, were inaccessible due to strict regulatory prohibitions. Moreover, the local banking sector was beleaguered by bad loans amounting to over 50 billion yuan, further strangling potential credit flows to both government and enterprises. This financial impasse rendered conventional methods of financing infrastructure projects, such as direct government investment or public-private partnerships, PPP, untenable, especially in regions where market signals were weak and attracting external or private capital was challenging. In response to these fiscal and infrastructural challenges, Chongqing's municipal leadership, under the guidance of then-leader Huang Tendong, initiated the formation of 8 specialized investment and financing platforms, collectively known as Ba-Da-To, 8 major investments. These platforms included the Qingtu company Chongqing, focused on urban construction investments, the real estate group Di-Changjitan, which managed land reserves and facilitated orderly land development, the Highway Development Company Galfa-Thru and Highway Investment Company Galto-Thru, specialized in the construction and investment of expressways and high-grade highways respectively, the Construction Investment Company Jiantogongsu, which handled general construction investments, the Development Investment Company Kaitogongsu, focused on railway, metro, and airport infrastructure, the Water Investment Group Soiteljitan, dedicated to rural water infrastructure, and the Water Management Group Soiwujitan, which managed urban water supply and sewage treatment. The establishment of these platforms was a strategic maneuver to circumvent the limitations imposed by inadequate fiscal revenues and poor creditworthiness. By consolidating resources and capitalizing on government-issued national bonds, these platforms were empowered to undertake large-scale infrastructure projects that were previously unfeasible under conventional financing structures. Chongqing's mountainous terrain posed significant obstacles to infrastructure development. Urbanization efforts were hampered by limited flat land, necessitating extensive earthworks, tunneling, and bridge construction. For instance, in Yuanyang County, Yoyangshan, the construction of a tunnel and bridge cost 2.8 billion yuan, a monumental investment reflecting the financial and engineering challenges inherent in such projects. Similarly, other districts like Xinjiang, Changjiang, and Wanzhou, as well as Chongqing's central urban area, were encumbered by geographical constraints that limited their expansion and development. The financial strain was exacerbated by the high costs associated with land acquisition and infrastructure development. Constructing an industrial development zone in Chongqing, unlike in Shanghai where land could be developed relatively cheaply, required extensive modification of the mountainous landscape, including the use of tens of thousands of tons of explosives and the excavation of millions of cubic meters of earth. These factors contributed to the slow pace of urban development, not due to a lack of effort but because of the prohibitive construction costs. To address the pressing need for infrastructure investment, the municipal leadership implemented a series of asset reorganization and capital injection strategies. A pivotal example was the establishment of the Chongqing Highway Investment Company Galto-Thru in December 2002. Faced with the incomplete construction of 1,000 kilometers of high-grade highways under the 8-hour Chongqing initiative, it became clear that fragmented funding sources, comprising national bonds, municipal contributions, and county-level self-financing were insufficient. Only half of the necessary funds were secured, leading to stalled projects and unpaid wages for construction workers. By consolidating the national bond funds and municipal contributions into a single investment entity, the Chongqing Highway Investment Company through was able to secure 20 billion yuan in capital. This consolidation enhanced the company's creditworthiness, enabling it to obtain additional bank loans and effectively resume and complete the highway projects. By the end of 2003, the targeted 1,000 kilometers of high-grade highways were fully operational, transforming transportation times across Chongqing's districts and counties to within 8 hours to the central urban area. Building on this success, the strategy was replicated to construct an additional 2,000 kilometers of interconnected highways and to acquire an extra 1,000 kilometers of county-level roads. This approach not only expanded the total highway assets to over 4,000 kilometers, but also streamlined toll collection systems, reducing congestion caused by excessive toll booths. The Chongqing Highway Investment Company's model of bundling capital injections from multiple sources laid the groundwork for the broader Bada toll financing strategy. A significant reform undertaken by the Bada toll platforms was the overhaul of Chongqing's road and bridge tolling system. Historically, the municipality had numerous toll booths, leading to severe traffic congestion, increased costs for motorists, environmental pollution from idling vehicles, and inflated property prices in central districts. Recognizing the unsustainable nature of this system, the municipal government tasked the Chongqing Qingtu Company Chongqing with eliminating toll booths within the central urban area. The reform entailed a three-pronged strategy: purchasing existing toll roads, canceling toll collections, and instituting a road use annual pass system. By securing a substantial loan to buy back the toll assets and implementing an annual pass priced attractively, the company ensured that the reform was financially viable while providing tangible benefits to residents. Over time, the increase in vehicle registrations and economic growth in Chongqing allowed the annual pass revenues to cover loan repayments and eventually phase out the toll system entirely by 2018. This initiative not only alleviated traffic congestion and reduced environmental pollution, but also harmonized urban development by ensuring that new infrastructure investments were publicly funded rather than privatized and toll-dependent. Parallel to infrastructure reforms, the water management sector in Chongqing faced critical challenges, including high operational costs, poor water quality, and inadequate sewage treatment facilities. The Chongqing Water Management Group, Soiwujitan, was restructured to address these issues through a comprehensive three-step approach. First, water prices were increased from 0.75 yuan per ton to 2 yuan per ton, aligning Chongqing's water tariffs with national and regional standards. This adjustment transformed previously unprofitable water supply operations into viable assets, enabling the Water Management Group to service its debts and invest in infrastructure improvements. Second, the introduction of national bond funds into the Water Management Group consolidated dispersed capital into a single entity, enhancing its creditworthiness and facilitating access to additional bank loans. This capital injection allowed the group to undertake essential projects, including the construction and upgrading of water treatment plants. Third, to further invigorate the Water Management Group, partnerships with international water services firms like Suez Environment were established. These collaborations brought in significant foreign capital and expertise, enabling the group to expand its operations and improve service quality. The eventual listing of the Water Management Group on the Shanghai Stock Exchange marked its transformation into a robust, publicly traded entity capable of sustaining long-term growth and development. These measures collectively elevated Chongqing's water infrastructure, significantly improving water quality and sewage treatment rates. By 2012, Chongqing had achieved top rankings in national water quality assessments, reflecting the effectiveness of the restructuring efforts. Recognizing the inefficiencies in land management and the potential for corruption in land transactions, Chongqing established the Real Estate Group, Dichanjitan, as part of the Bada Toll framework. Unlike traditional land reserve centers, the Real Estate Group was designed to centralize land reserves, ensuring government control over land supply and preventing speculative practices by private developers. The group's primary functions included managing and consolidating land reserves to support urban development and infrastructure projects, implementing land reclamation projects, particularly in balancing cultivated land through conversion projects, and leveraging land reserves as collateral to secure bank loans, thereby generating capital for public infrastructure investments. The innovative approach of issuing land reserve certificates, Tudi Chubeizhang, as collateral allowed the Real Estate Group to obtain substantial financing from banks, facilitating large-scale land development projects. This mechanism not only stabilized land prices by controlling supply, but also ensured that land value appreciation benefited public infrastructure investments rather than private interests. The group effectively regulated the land market, curtail corruption in land transactions, and served as a strategic reserve to fund ongoing and future public projects. The success of the Bada Toll platforms hinged on adhering to key operational principles and robust risk management frameworks. Central to their operations were the 5 injections, Wugurjuru, that solidified their capital base. These included national bonds allocated to Chongqing, regulatory fees from tolls and other sources, capital from land reserves, existing public infrastructure assets, and partial redirection of tax revenues to support the platform's capital needs. These injections established a strong credit foundation, enabling the platforms to secure further financing from state-owned banks, issue corporate bonds, and even pursue listings on stock exchanges. The platforms operated under a stringent 3 balances Thongapingkong regime, maintaining a debt-to-equity ratio between 50% and 60% to prevent over-leverage, ensuring that operational revenues matched or exceeded expenditures on investments and debt servicing, and aligning project investments with sustainable revenue streams, whether through toll revenues, government subsidies, or land value appreciations. Additionally, the platforms adhered to 3 no's Thongabu to mitigate financial risks. No direct fiscal guarantees from the government to preserve the platform's independent creditworthiness. No mutual guarantees among the platforms to isolate financial risks. And no mixed use of specialized funds to ensure that funds earmarked for specific projects remain dedicated to those projects. Preventing financial mismanagement. The strategic establishment of the Bada Toll platforms fundamentally transformed Chongqing's infrastructure landscape. From 2003 to 2015, these platforms were instrumental in accelerating the construction of over 3,800 kilometers of expressways, developing extensive railway and metro systems, and enhancing water supply, sewage treatment, and environmental management. The real estate group's centralized land management stabilized land and property markets, while the water management group's restructuring significantly improved water quality and sewage treatment rates, contributing to public health and environmental sustainability. Moreover, the Chongqing Highway Investment Company's success in completing the 8-hour Chongqing initiative exemplified how consolidating fragmented resources and enhancing creditworthiness could overcome financial and logistical barriers to infrastructure development. This model was replicated across other platforms, enabling the efficient and large-scale execution of infrastructure projects that were previously unattainable under conventional financing methods. The lifecycle management of the Bada Toll platforms was meticulously planned, with a recognition that these platforms were temporary structures designed to catalyze Chongqing's infrastructure development. Anticipating their eventual phase-out, the platforms were structured to either be taken over by market forces, transition into publicly traded entities, or pivot to new operational domains once their primary missions were fulfilled. For example, the Water Management Group successfully restructured, attracted foreign investment, and became a publicly listed company, enhancing its operational capabilities and market competitiveness. Similarly, the Highway Investment Company transitioned into the Chongqing Transportation and Tourism Investment Group, focusing on tourism-related infrastructure, while the Energy Investment Group evolved into a comprehensive energy conglomerate, integrating coal, gas, and renewable energy sources to support Chongqing's growing industrial and residential demands. By 2015, several platforms had either completed their initial missions, transitioned to new roles, or been absorbed into larger corporate entities, reducing the number of active investment platforms from 8 to 5. This strategic exit was aligned with Chongqing's economic maturation and the increased availability of public financing, allowing the platforms to evolve beyond their original construction-focused mandates. The World Bank recognized Chongqing's Bada Toll as a pivotal driver of the municipality's economic growth, highlighting its innovative approach as a model with potential applicability to other developing regions facing similar infrastructural and financial challenges. In conclusion, the Bada Toll platforms exemplify a strategic, state-led approach to overcoming financial constraints and geographical challenges in large-scale infrastructure development. By consolidating resources, enhancing creditworthiness, and instituting rigorous operational principles, Chongqing successfully navigated its path toward robust industrialization and urbanization. This model not only facilitated the rapid transformation of Chongqing's infrastructure landscape, but also set a precedent for other municipalities in China and beyond, demonstrating the efficacy of centralized, specialized investment platforms in driving sustainable economic and social development.